What's happening, everyone? My name is Phil with PrecisionLED.com, and today we have the 2016 Toyota Tundra. We'll be installing LED headlights as well as fog lights on. Now, this installation is compatible with year models 2014 and up, and that's considered the third generation Tundra, and it's compatible with also the standard trim line as well as the TRD models. Now, for our headlights, we're using an H4 low and high beam kit from PrecisionLED.com, and for the fog lights, we're using an H16 or H11 compatible LED kit as well from PrecisionLED.com. Now, in particular, this new Tundra has some more complicated electronics, which means that we are going to also be using a 50-watt resistor kit on the headlights. And that's to make sure that the correct power draw is occurring so that the fog lights and headlights can work together. Sometimes, in some cases, without this resistor kit, the fog lights won't turn on after you do LED on the headlights. It may work on some vehicles, it may not, but for us, we recommend the use of the resistors as well. Now, as you can see, we had to remove the grille to get access to our headlights and fog lights. To remove the grille, you're going to use a 10mm socket and socket wrench. There are 4 bolts on the top, and you pull that off, and that allows you to then access the bolts to help you remove the headlight to access the bulbs in the rear, as well as get your hand here to access the fog lights. Let's go ahead and put that back together and get started. All right, we've got the hood up, and as you can see, you have 4 silver colored bolts here that need to be removed. Those are 10mm. So we have got a 10mm socket and socket wrench. These come out, and then you have 2 small black clamps here. Those come out, and then we'll be able to push or pull actually this entire assembly back. So we'll do that now. All right, now that you have the 4 bolts out, you see this right here. We're gonna be using one of our trim tools here to remove it. If you don't have one, a flathead screwdriver could work as well. You get in between, you lift the top part up, the entire clip comes out. Now that everything's off the top, you wanna lift up slightly, and that should help to release it. There you go. And now you should see it starts to bend back this way. At this point, you're gonna grab from the side and the bottom here and pull out. You got popped on one side. Go to the other. Whole thing comes off. We're gonna go ahead and change the camera angle. There's 3 bolts now that hold, 2 clamps that hold this bottom section, this bottom bumper piece in here, and that'll allow us to remove 1, 2, and 3 bolts for the headlight assembly. To remove this section of the bumper here, we're gonna remove the 2 clips here. This one. 2. And now this thing starts to peel away. You're just gonna pull, and it pops out. Now that you have that removed, we have a bolt here, here, and one here that's holding the headlight in place. Once those all come out, you can pull the headlight out. Just keep in mind that this third one here is different from these top 2. So take note, these ones have Phillips head screwdriver heads on the top as well as the 10mm nut. This one does not. Now I'm going to take a rag and put it down here, and that's so when I pull this headlight out, I can rest it on this metal aluminum bar without scratching the plastic here. You may want to also use a tool here to help pry up on this, and that helps you pop everything off. Once these top 2 are pried off, there is a small little indentation here. You're gonna pull up, pull it out, and that all comes out. You can rest this now on the side here. You can see we have an LED bulb already installed. We're gonna go put the halogen back in and show you exactly how to replace this. Now we're looking here at the LED conversion kit, and it's a 3-piece system. You have the heat sink and fan, which is a separate unit. You have the bulb itself. Then you have the power ballast, which has your H4 connector, as well as your fan power and lighting power. We're gonna set this aside for now. You'll see why it's all broken up into 3 pieces in just a minute. The H4 connector here comes out first. And then this rubber grommet, or actually this rubber dust cover, comes off next. Put this off to the side. Now there is a wire clamp holding the H4 bulb in place. You're gonna push down and pull away, and that releases, and you can pull it around, and now you can take your H4 bulb out, just like that. Now to put your new system together, you're going to put the H4 LED bulb in first without anything connected. That goes in. And you want to make sure that this wire goes around the clamp here, and then you connect it back in. Now that's secure. The next thing is you want to put that rubber dust cover back in. The wire has to go through the center. You want to get this out of the way. And then you kind of pull on the wire to make it taut so you can get this dust cover back on. And it'll be a little bit more difficult, but this center rubber portion has to go all the way down. So you expose the threads on the LED bulb so you can screw the heatsink on top. So it should look exactly like this with enough space for you to screw on the heatsink. Next, we're gonna put that heatsink on. And this one goes on nice and tight. The copper between these two systems will transfer heat to the heatsink. Now that these two are in place, we can add in our ballast. First thing you want to do is connect the heatsink power wire. That only goes on one way. And then now, the LED bulb power. It's a 4-prong connector. You'll see that there are 2 arrows indicating where they connect. Push those in, and you screw the clamp on to prevent any water or dust from getting into that connection. Now, if you did not buy the resistor kit, you would hook your H4s in directly. If you got the resistor kit, this would go in between. So you would connect one side to your factory harness and one side to your LEDs. And again, this means because the LED system draws less power than a traditional halogen bulb, the kit has 2 resistors on it that increases the power draw overall of the system to mimic that of a halogen bulb. The reason there's 2 of them, there's one for high beam, one for low beam, so it mimics both. For now, you can just let these drop down to the bottom. We'll deal with the cleanup and mounting of the ballast after the fact. And this will go back in. Now you want to make sure this bottom piece goes in first here and rests here in the slot. And then you want to make sure that these 2 upper sections go over and snap on. And now you can screw it back in, and as well as we'll test the headlight system right now to make sure it works. So, low beam and high beam. And both are working fine. You can go ahead now that you have everything confirmed, 2 bolts up top, 1 bolt on the side, and then we'll show you how to work on the fog lights. We're looking now here on the interior of the vehicle at the fog light assembly. We're going to remove first the fog light connector. That comes out. And now you can twist counterclockwise here to remove the old bulb. comes out. Now, like I said before, it's an H11 compatible H16 type bulb, which means both H16 and H11 style bulb will fit in the socket. So we're going to use an H11. I'm going to go ahead first and connect our power here to our kit. Close that one off. And you're just going to go back, reinsert the bulb, and twist it clockwise to lock it in place. Go. Okay. And now you can go ahead and connect power. We'll leave the ballast here off to the side. We'll mount that later. We're just going to go ahead and test to make sure the headlights as well as the fog lights both turn on without any issues. Okay, now that everything is set, we're going to get some zip ties and our 3M mounting pads, get everything lined up, and bolt everything back together and finish off our installation. Now, to mount and clean up our wiring, we're using one of the 3M mounting pads here for our ballast. I'm going to go ahead and put one side on for now. And we're going to place it here. And there's kind of a nice little slot here for it to sit. You can really choose anywhere you want that's a flat surface that's metal. You just want to make sure you clean it off. So I'm going to grab a rag and some degreaser to do that. So we're just going to make sure we clean off the surface we're attaching to. Make sure it's dry. And then I'm going to remove 3M tape and place it on. Right there. There we go. Now for our resistors, these get pretty hot, which is why there's some heat shielding around the wiring here. If you're going to use zip ties, you want to zip tie against the heat shielded wiring and allow these to hang somewhere open air. So you can take that, you could do it right here, or this is a metal bracket here. You do it right to the bottom on the side here, and that's where we're going to do it for ours. Got some zip ties here we'll use. Just to lock these down. Now these also have small mounting holes, so if you had sheet metal screws, you could screw these permanently onto the vehicle, maybe here or against the frame here. It's really up to you. You could also put them here or here where you see these holes. This is just a little bit more free hanging for the client in particular, so we can remove them easy if we want to. The rest of this wiring is pretty short. We don't need to worry too much about it, so you can leave it as is. Now that that's all settled, we're going to go ahead and put this portion back on, and not forgetting to put these 3 screws on as well. And just remember, the 3rd screw here on the side is slightly different. No Phillips head on this one. All right, now that that's settled, this side will go on first. And really, you can just push this one in. You'll hear a clicking sound, and I'll let you know it's on. And remember, the two black clips go here and here. Make sure that there's separation between the two parts of the clip here before you put it in, and then push it to lock it in place. Now, you can go ahead and put your grill back in place, assuming you did the same thing on the passenger side. And that's the end of the installation. If you have any questions or concerns, please email us at help@precisionled.com, or you can reach us online and submit a support ticket at www.precisionled.com/contact. Please like or subscribe if you enjoyed the video or enjoyed the process for what we do. It really does help us out when we make the next one, knowing that there's people out there watching the videos. Have a good one.